Hey everybody, here we are. This is the little tutorial extra that I'm putting on at the end of the Gilie tank review to show you how to basically clean your coils and to re-wick your coils so that way you can get the most life out of your coils. Now these coils are not that expensive compared to some other coils, but the fact that you can clean them and re-wick them pretty much for months at a time is an absolutely fantastic thing, and it makes the cost of ownership of this tank really low. Now this is what one of these things can look like. Okay, let me just get that in the middle there. After about hairs, this is not the coil that I'm going to be showing you how to do it in, but this coil I used for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Let me see if I can get that to focus there. Not going to do it, huh? Oh, there we go. Now this coil, focus, Danielson, thank you. Now this coil, like I said, I use this for about a week and a half. As you can see, the cotton in there is gotten a little bit dingy. It's no longer even the translucency that it is. That's because what I do is when the juice gets down to a certain point, I whip out my little Coil Master Seb and I fill my tank up. So this way I always have juice in my tank. And as such, because I'm usually rocking this at about 40 watts, this thing sometimes develops a good coat of gunk. I'll pull the cotton out of here and I'll dry burn the coil a little bit until it starts to glow, pulsing it a little bit here, and then I'll put new cotton in and I'm good to go. I've got extra coils. So yeah, the longest amount of time I've gotten on one of these coils is about a month's worth of straight use. I'll use it, clean it, re-wick it, use it again, clean it, re-wick it, blah 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 blah, and I'll get about a month's worth of use out of the coil. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things that you need to know. One, you have to do this on low wattage. Now, what I'm going to show you here, I filmed it a little while ago. I used 28 watts. Now, that's actually a little bit high for doing these coils. And as you'll see in the build cam, it caused the coil to deform. It's no longer the straight spring like that it is, but that really doesn't affect the coil's operation too much. It's just aesthetic. If you do this at about 10 to 15 watts, it works fine. You just pulse it till it glows, pulse it till it glows, pulse it till it glows. Now, because I'm doing this here at my desk, I can't show you part of it, but I'm going to tell you about it. Now, instead of just brushing it off with the brass wire brush like I do, when I'm actually doing these things in actual use, what I'll do is after I've taken the coil and burned it, most of the times I'll take it to the sink and run it under some cool water and just let the cool water wash off all the burnt off gunk, any oxides that are on there and stuff like that. Now, the non-resistance wire is nickel. That will not get hot because the resistance wire is Kanthal. If I remember correctly, yeah, Kanthal. It's either Kanthal or nichrome. But you can take that, glow it, rinse it off, re-wick it, and put it back again. Nickel, nichrome, nickel. The nickel, because the nichrome gets hot, never ever gets anywhere near the glow point. Never. So don't worry about it. Okay? The nichrome is the only part that actually gets hot and starts to glow. So you have no issues about dry burning nickel and getting oxides and stuff like that on here at all. Okay? As long as you clean off the oxides and the burnt stuff that's on there, you got no issues. Take my word for it. I've been doing this now with these coils for, oh, months. Like I said, I've been using this as my daily banger now for going on 8 months, and like I said, I will get about a month. I've actually gotten, one of my coils, I actually gotten about 2 months out of it. So yeah, for $5 I get 2 months worth of use out of it, and the only thing I've got to do is take a Muji or a Kojendo pad, snip off a centimeter wide. Actually, you might want to go a little bit wider than that. Take off one side of the one hard side and fold it inside. Now, the reason why I only take one side off is because that one side, that's the side that gets folded out, that gets exposed to the juice. And that will turn around and will wick like a son of a gun. I find that by having that one side, that's the compressed side, on the inside, not only does the coil get a little bit more stability, but it also turns around and it still wicks, and it wicks real good. After I've turned around and I've done the re-wicking on this, some of the coils actually wick better because I have that compressed piece in the center. It becomes like a hard little center tube in there. But it still wicks like a son of a gun. So this is what I found. Yeah, so without any further ado, let's go down to the build deck. I'll show you what's going on with it, and we'll take it from there, okay? Meet you down below decks. Okay, here we are down on the build deck, and these are the tools that you're going to need to make your new coil wicking with. You have your Kojendo, pair of tweezers, a ruler with metric notations, a brass wire brush, and a pair of scissors. Okay, and don't forget a pen. All right. Now I have my E-Leaf iStick 50 here that I'm going to be using to burn the coils. And here we have the tank. I'm going to take the top section off here to expose the coil. And you can see how gunky this coil is. Let me zoom in a little bit here on it for you. Yeah, all that black stuff, that's accumulation of coil crud, I should say. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to just remove the top part here and take the coil itself out and get a little bit better view of what it looks like here. Yeah. Let me take that off, put that down to one side there, put that away also, get it on my paws. And yeah. So now I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to grab a hold of the cotton that's in the center, and I'm going to twist it out. Twist, remember, it makes it come out easier when you twist it, and that's what it looks like. Now, as you can see here, you have the non-resistance wire, the resistance wire, which is all cruddy, and then the non-resistance wire here at the top. And that little piece that's sticking off there on the top, that's the negative side. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to take off the glass. Now, the reason why I take the glass off is because when I'm burning this coil, the smoke and everything gets stuck inside of the glass, and it coats the inside of the glass, so it makes it harder, and you have to re-clean it. Not to mention the fact it also helps you to be able to see exactly where the coil touches the that brass in the center there. All right, so I'm going to take the coil, and I'm going to put it in here in the center. Oh, I got to put the top on first. Duh. And yeah, take the coil, feed it down through the center, make sure it goes on there and touches that brass contact down there at the bottom. And then we take the top and we put the top back on here like so. And make sure it's nice and tight so we got a good electrical connection. Remember that little piece that sticks out at the top, that's your negative side returning to the battery. And let's put the mod minus the glass onto the top of the stick, and 5 clicks would turn it on. All right, there we go. All right, so I've got it at 28 watts, and now I'm going to just bring this up here a little bit closer so you can see exactly what's going on inside the atomizer itself. Now as I hit the button, you're going to see, there we go, hold on a second, yeah, inside that hole right there, you're going to see some smoke and stuff coming out, and then you're going to see the coil start to glow. That's all of the coil gunk and crud that was on there getting burnt off. I'm going to pulse this about maybe 3 or 4 times, 5 times, depends. As long as that smoke still keeps coming out of there, I'm just going to keep pulsing it just so until it stops, basically. Yeah. And as you can see in there, you can see that the coils are starting to take on a slightly white appearance. Look right in there. You can see right through the other side. And yeah, there we go. And the red that's in the background there, that's from the mat at the bottom. Now I'm going to pulse it one more time so you can see where the coils are. And there we go. All right, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to zoom this thing back out so you can get a better view of what's going to happen here. And then I'm going to take the top off. And ooh, that's hot. Yeah, that gets really hot when you do this. So be careful. And you take that out. Now you can see the coil slightly deformed here, and you see all that white stuff that's on that coil there where the black was. That's all the stuff we've just burnt off. Now I'm going to take this brass wire brush and just brush it off. Normally I would take this and I would go in and to the sink and rinse it off, but yeah, can't do that right now. So I'm going to take the top off here, let the coil drop out into our hands. By now it's nice and cool. Yeah, you can see it's slightly deformed a little bit, but that's not going to really affect it too much as long as it's long enough. Still got a hair on here. How the hell did that happen? Oh well. Let's pull this out a little bit because it looks like it's shortened up a little bit. Get that out of the way. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to start making the wicking. You're going to take your metric ruler and you're going to mark off a 1 centimeter piece of Kojendo. All right, you can make it about 12 millimeters, and if you want, that'll make it a little bit tighter in there and works a little bit better. I'm going to cut the piece off like so. And we're going to take off just one side, the side where I put the markings. Yeah, I'm just going to peel that one side off like that. Yeah, and I'm going to take this, make sure it stays nice and fluffy, and then I'm going to take that side there that has the hard side, and I'm going to fold that into the middle. Now I found that this actually works a lot better than just having the fluffy cotton as well. Plus it also gives the coil some stability. And yeah, make sure that that's all nice and folded in. Going to twist and pinch, and then we're going to push it up through the coil just like this, right like so, and take the tweezers and we're going to pull that straight through and give it a little bit of a twist as you pull it in. It makes it go in so much easier. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the bottom off here because you want that nice and even. Then I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to fluff that out so that way it gives it a nice. It helps to do for the wicking to come up. Now I'm going to pull that coil, that cotton. Let me zoom in here a little so you can see what I'm talking about. It makes it a lot easier to see this. Now let's get this thing focused here. And yeah, there we go. All right, now I'm going to pull that in. Oh, come on, get it on camera, Joe. All right, I'm going to pull that in until you get like maybe 1 or 2 coils there inside. So that way when that goes down onto the brass, you see how that's depressed into there? Now that'll turn around and ensure a good electrical connection. Now I'm going to snip off the excess cotton here. Careful of the wire. Yeah. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to pull it back down into the coil just a little bit, like so. Make sure you got that indentation there. And then I'm going to fluff this out here just to make sure that it's all nice and fluffy here. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. And all right, that's it. And now we're going to take this and I'm going to zoom out so you get a better view of what's going on here. And I'm going to take the top off here, put the glass back on, put the top back, the fill area, the actual atomization chamber. And now I'm going to fill this up with some of my black and blue bilberry juice. That's juice that I make for myself. And this is going to take a little bit of a time. So, yeah. And it's about 6 dropperfuls. You want to fill this up basically all the way to the top. Not to the max line, but all the way to the top, especially on this first use of the cotton, because that cotton is just going to suck up the juice that's in there like you wouldn't believe. All right, so put that to one side. Put the top here on. And now, juice all over the place. All right, so we're going to take the coil now, and we're going to make sure that that top side there, that with the little flat piece sticking out, that's the top side. Feed that in there very gently. Make sure that it's seated on that little brass nipple at the bottom. Now I'm going to take a nice big dropper full of juice and just put it on there. You can either put 1 or 2 little drops, or you can just put one big globbing drop like I did. And then I'm going to put the top on here like this. And basically, we're pretty much done. Yeah, make sure it's nice and tight. Oh man, this juice gets all over the place. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Let's head topside and vape this thing. Okay, here we are back up topside. Okay, now, as you saw, I put that on my little Gilie 50 watt here. I'm banging, oh shoot, I have it set to 28 watts here. There we go, unlock. Let me bring this up to, I'm going to bring this up to the full 50 watts here. Okay, this is where you can see it, if it'll focus. Okay, it's 50 watts, 0.6 ohms, 5.4 volts. Okay? See? Out. I'm going to have, this is the version 2 on here. This is a little something I didn't do earlier, but I'm going to do it now. But listen very carefully to the sound of the version 1's airflow. Okay, now here's the version 2. Now, I know some people are going to say that the cloudage that I put out with the version 2 is because I'm using a Kanger Arymi coil that I haven't messed around with. This is a brand new virgin coil. But the coil that I'm using here, that I just re-wicked, that's still pretty damn good. Okay? I'd say that's still some pretty damn good cloudage. So yeah, as you can see, you can reuse these things many, many times. The one that I just showed you that I re-wicked here, that was the second or third re-wicking that I did on that coil. Okay, so this is the third re-wicking on that coil. So this is going to be the third week that I'll have this coil in operation. Okay, but the whole thing now, just now, about showing you the two clouds together, that was because I wanted you to hear the difference in the airflow. Okay, yeah, so either one. I like the version 1 for the aesthetics on here. The knurling that's on the top here makes it a lot easier, especially like, well, yeah, it's still winter technically until tomorrow. When you got a pair of gloves on, it makes it easier to take that top off to fill it up. Even during the summertime, in the nice weather, the knurling really helps. So just in case you get a little bit of e-juice on your fingers, it makes it easier to put it on. This thing here, slippery, but the fact that the parts on the two of them are interchangeable, what I've been doing is I've been using the top cap from the version 1 on the airflow from the version 2, and that's the one I've been taking to work with me for a longest time, and it works even better than before. So I not only have the airflow from the version 2, but I've also got the ease of use with that little bit of knurling that's on there from the version 1. Okay, so yeah, that's just it. Okay, let me chop out of here. I got to do a lot of editing here. Hope this helped out quite a bit. And thanks for joining me. Thanks for taking the time to stay here if you did decide to stay here and watch this. And have yourself a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.